Hello. Welcome to Tsitsipas versus Medvedev. How's everybody doing? Hello. Hello, hello. Stefanos versus Daniil in a crazy rivalry, part 14. Excited for this one. Medvedev and Tsitsipas. Medvedev started off the head-to-head by far the more winning player, but they've really gone back and forth in the last 5 or 6 meetings, pretty much. They both won a few. So I'll break that down. We're going to get started soon, though. Currently a warm-up. Record is 9-4 in favor of Medvedev. Medvedev won the last 2. Tsitsipas won the 2 before that. They've both won 3 meetings in their last 6 meetings. Also, they both won 4 in their last 8. So that kind of gives you an idea of where we're at. Last time they met was in Vienna last year. So this is their first meeting this year. Medvedev, like I said, won their last 2 in Rome and in Vienna. The Rome meeting was extremely important. I think whoever was winning that match was going to end up winning that tournament. Medvedev ended up winning it, so he went all the way. So yeah, there we go. Warming up. I think we should get started. Let me get everything sorted. It's currently 1 a.m. I'm just going to be real. I haven't slept. I tried to take a nap, and the timing didn't work out. I wasn't able to fall asleep, so kind of doing this off no sleep, staying up. So it's just what it is. We go with it. It's not what I was hoping for, but it is what it is. It's fine. We're going to get started soon. Both players walking to the benches. Hey, how's it going, Minor? But I am very tired. I'm not even going to lie. Let me fix this score so it's looking better on the screen real quick. Okay, cool. This is personally one of my favorite rivalries. Obviously, there's the personal aspect where these two guys have not always gone along. I don't think they are particularly friends. And also the stylistically, ever since 2022 Cincinnati, I feel like Tsitsipas has done a lot better and has changed a lot of things playing Medvedev, and it's created a really interesting matchup as well. So I think this is one of the best rivalries on tour. Two guys from the same generation. I think the two guys from their generation that have slam winning capabilities still going forward into the future. So in my opinion, people will disagree with me. But I always like watching these two guys play. Really weird pancake return to serve from Medvedev. Forehand up high, that goes out, 15-all. They are also both very weird. Medvedev will hit shots that you just won't see very much. They're both very eccentric. Very distinctive. But you like that. They're both, I mean, in some ways, they're both confident in their own skin and how they differentiate from the rest of the tour. And you like to see different personalities, and these two personalities clash. Ever since their first meeting in Miami, which is an amazing moment in tennis history. Between a BS Russian and a small kid who doesn't know how to fight. Amazing moments. Forehand in the net from Medvedev. So 40-15 for Steph. Yeah, first meeting this year. Steph had Monte Carlo. Outside of that, he once again hasn't really had a very good year. He didn't even perform that well in Australia. So it's been rather poor and not that much to be excited about for Tsitsipas, all things considered. Medvedev, Been a weird year, right? Not his best year, no doubt, but I mean Wimbledon semis again. Australian Open got a set away from winning it. So it's come with his highs, but I don't know. Indian Wells final, played a good first set against Alcaraz. But he's only just now kind of coming into form. He's not been in his best form in general this year. He's had shoulder issues. His serve hasn't been there. It's been a weird year for Medvedev as well. So both these guys are trying to find something to get excited about in terms of a big event. I don't think Medvedev's won a title since Rome last year. Yeah, he hasn't. He's lost the last 5 finals that he's played against Djokovic, against Sinner 3 times, and against Alcaraz, and the last one, Indian Wells. So Medvedev hasn't reached a final since Indian Wells, if you wanted to. So that's really, after that first set against Alcaraz and Indian Wells, his season took kind of a drop off. But I feel like in Beijing last week, I feel like he kind of found his game, maybe against Alcaraz a little bit. So he lost against Alcaraz, and maybe he found it a little bit against Alcaraz, found that confidence a little bit. So we'll see if that's the case. Anyway, it's 15-all on Medvedev serve. Backhand chip, the backhand of Medvedev, backhand slice of Steph, the forehand of Medvedev, backhand of Tsitsipas, the backhand of Medvedev, going backhand to backhand slice again. Forehand now Medvedev, the backhand of Tsitsipas, forehand Medvedev cross court. That's a great shot. Solid forehand from Daniil. That's the 30-15. First serve in the net from Medvedev. Second serve. The ball toss completely flew out of Medvedev's hand there. That was really strange. Ball toss completely off kilter, and then he completely missed the second serve after he caught the ball. 30-all. Big controversy with the ball toss with Tiafoe yesterday. So, but that was weird. Forehand cross court. Forehand of Steph. Forehand of Daniil. Forehand of Steph. Forehand down the line to the backhand of Steph. Daniil is going to try to go backhand to backhand as much as possible. There's no doubt. Backhand slice. Forehand Daniil. Cross court. Forehand of Steph. Forehand of Medvedev. The backhand slice of Tsitsipas. Backhand of Tsitsipas. That goes out. I don't know if I'm going to say Tsitsipas or Steph when it's kind of easier to say Steph. I might just go with Steph and Daniil because that's kind of easy. And it kind of fits the vibe a little bit. I'll start with Steph and Daniil, and then I'll see if I want to change it. Because Tsitsipas and Medvedev is a lot of things to say, to be honest. That seems like a lot. First serve goes long. The serve from Medvedev is not going to give him the leg up in this matchup like it can at other times, because Medvedev is better from the back of the court, but his serve was also better, or at least equal to Tsitsipas. Maybe not better, but at least like equal, or if anything, just like hairs below Tsitsipas' serve. But right now, Tsitsipas, you'd say, has a better serve, so that's going to hurt Daniil. Medvedev has beaten Tsitsipas in these courts before. It was a while ago, though. That goes out from Steph, so advantage to Daniil. Boo. What'd I say? Boo to what? Unfortunately, Medi is the Andy Murray of this generation. Sinner and Carlitos are better. Yeah, I like the Medvedev-Murray comparisons. Yeah, it's accurate. It's just accurate. It's accurate in almost every single facet, honestly. Forehand, that goes out. 1-1. I mean, yeah, it's accurate in almost every facet. Can't disagree. Even to the fact that they're both such strategic players. I like the fact that Murray's last final was against Medvedev. I like the sign that this fan is holding in the crowd of Medvedev making a hilarious, funny face. Medvedev is like a mad genius, man. Like, I don't know. Medvedev is crazy, dude. He's smart, but he's crazy. And once again, being crazy, standing like 50 feet behind the service line to return the serve. Oh my god, it's so far back behind the court. Backhand, cross court, backhand of Medvedev, backhand of Tsitsipas. That goes out. Love 15. He has not decided to change his return position against Steph. He's feeling okay about it. I mean, he did win the last two meetings that they played. That was before he basically ever tried standing closer into the court like he's done a few times this year. That was the first time he did that really was against Hurkacz at the Australian Open this year. Last time these two played was in Vienna last year. And he won their last two meetings, like I said. Backhand miss from Daniil. That's not a shot he wants to miss. He wants to be the more consistent and reliant off that backhand wing. This could be a good opportunity for one of these guys to find their peak form, like against one of their best rivals. Biggest rivals, I should say, and best. Like, it feels like the type of thing where whoever wins this is going to benefit a lot, in my opinion. They're going to get a lot of confidence. These two guys, they get highly motivated, I would think, playing each other. And by the way, 10-4 head-to-head sounds pretty different from 9-5. 9-5 is still, like, somewhat reasonable. 10-4, that's a blowout. Oh, what a shot from Daniil. Or is that out? Like, could have been either way. Oh, it was out. Tsitsipas with a Hawkeye. Crazy. That was out by like 2 millimeters. Legit. 30 all. Good eye. Good eye, to be fair. 30 all. Tsitsipas would love a big first serve. That was just out. Almost an ace. I don't know if we've had an ace yet. Tsitsipas is challenging. Late challenge from Tsitsipas. He was good with the first one. That was close. I think it was out though. Yeah, it was out, yeah. That's like exactly what I thought it was going to be. Not that close. Maybe just wanting more time before the second serve, although I don't know why he would. Although Tsitsipas doesn't double fall very often. He's very different from Zverev in that way. Backhand, cross court from Steph to backhand Daniil, forehand of Steph. Forehand Daniil down the line, backhand slice short, backhand Daniil. Backhand of Steph, forehand of Steph. Backhand right off the baseline. Medvedev stops though to challenge. I'm glad he did because I don't know about this angle, but that looked like it was out. Medvedev doesn't seem particularly sure one way or the other. Neither does the guy in the crowd, although they both, I don't know. Oh, it is in. Okay. Right off the back of the line. 40-30. Both players have 2 challenges remaining. Love Tsitsidev rival. We need more like this. Hate those stupid romances. Preach. Preach. No, I like it too. I mean, spice it up a little bit. Some drama, some personality is good. That also looked like it could have been out. Medvedev almost stopped. Forehand cross court, forehand to Steph. That goes out. Deuce. A lot of balls being hit very close to the lines here. And 2 deuce games in a row. One on Medvedev's serve, one on Tsitsipas's, which I guess kind of comes with the territory of them being 2 games in a row. What? How do you say this guy's name? Coach of Tsitsipas. Was that Chatsalenko? I need to see his name again. First time I'm seeing this guy's name. I didn't know he was part of the coaching block. Forehand down the line, backhand of Steph. Backhand of Daniil. Backhand of Steph. Backhand of Daniil. Forehand of Steph. Forehand of Daniil. Forehand of Steph. That's in the net. Break point for Medvedev. First break point in the match. Perhaps Steph testing out some people in his coaching box, I guess. This is potentially a big moment. Medvedev has the confidence in Shanghai. He's won this tournament before. That was when my eye really turned to Medvedev. I was like, wow, this guy's the real deal. He's kind of taking over the tennis sphere. Before Sinner and Alcaraz, this was, I mean, Zverev had won some Masters, but for some reason, Medvedev just turned my head a little bit more. Like, I was like, wow, this guy is so good. And he seems like he's mentally strong to a level beyond any of these other younger guys that we've seen in a long time. Dominic Thiem is up there, but for some reason Medvedev really turned my head. And I mean, he did become world number one, and he's been to 6 Grand Slam finals, and he would have won probably 3 or 4 had it not been against the big 3. Forehand, Medvedev goes out. That's a good eye from Tsitsipas again. Advantage to Steph. Got myself happy balanced breakfast of 2 cigarettes and Pringles. That doesn't seem very balanced. You need to check your scale. 2-1. That doesn't seem like a particularly healthy breakfast menu. I'm sorry. Stuff's backhand is too much of a liability to win slams. Yeah, I mean, I think it's most covered on clay, obviously, where he has more time to hit it, and he doesn't mind, I think, hitting the backhand off a high, like, I don't know. He has more time, and the high bounce on clay, I don't know. I don't think Steph minds it that much, like on clay courts, and I don't know. It's still a liability for sure, but I think it's more consistent on clay, and he's so good at finding the angles and then working it so they can hit the forehand for a winner. Working the court on clay, so I think on clay it's a little bit less of a liability. Yeah, I think the French is the only place where I see him potentially winning a slam. I'll say that. I think the French is the only place where I potentially see him winning a slam. I don't see him winning anywhere else. U.S. Open and Wimbledon are just no's. Australian Open is still a maybe. He's played pretty well in Australia, but to me, it's Australian or nothing. It's the French or nothing. It's the French Open or nothing. I meant to say. I could see him winning a Roland Garros at some point. I don't know if I think he will at this point, but I reckon he could win a Roland Garros at some point down the line. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. Casper Ruud, I think, will win a Roland Garros at some point. I would go as far as to say I'll be surprised if he doesn't win one Roland Garros, which I know I differ from a lot of people, but I'm happy to say that. And yeah, so we'll see. Casper is also just like the best ever at running around his backhand, so that helps. If Steph is quite good at running around his backhand, but if Steph had Casper's footwork running around his backhand, then he would be even much better than he is. Both of them have elite forehands and just not good backhands for where they're at, or for like the top 100 or so, at least for Steph. And I love the one-handed backhand. Love 15. Medvedev missing a few too many pretty much unforced errors from the back of the court to start us off here. And not making enough first serves in as well. That's the first serve ace, though. I think that's Medvedev's first ace. 202 kilometers an hour, 15 all. Forehand of Medvedev to the backhand slice of Steph. Forehand of Medvedev to the forehand of Tsitsipas. Forehand Medvedev. Backhand slice Tsitsipas. Forehand Medvedev. Forehand of Tsitsipas. It's back to forehand to Medvedev. We're going forehand to forehand. Medvedev hitting a little bit lower over the net. Backhand's a great angle. Pulls Steph out wide on the ad side. Steph's clearly getting tired in the legs or something. Drop shot. Medvedev is a beauty. 30-15. Can't get tired, Steph. You gotta keep on your feet. I feel like that's what happened. I don't know why else he stopped like that. That was weird. Or maybe he was expecting an out ball there. I guess it was close-ish. Great drop shot, great touch and feel from Medvedev, though. Like the form is funny to watch, but he pulled it off. Medvedev is so talented. It's a joke. It's a joke how talented Medvedev is. I've long held the view. I've said this for like 2 or 3 years. I genuinely think Medvedev is one of the most talented people to ever play tennis. I know that might sound a little bit silly, but to play the insane way that he does and to play it as successfully and as well as he does and hit some of the shots that he pulls off, like passing shots from like 50 feet behind the baseline, I just think it's absolutely a joke. Like this guy's talented. He might not be the flashiest around, but the guy is talented. Which is another kind of thing with like Andy Murray, right? Like Murray was never that flashy, but boy is the guy talented. Like Murray is an underrated just in terms of like the skills that he brought on the court. He was a shot maker in some way, some regard or another. Forehand cross score is great. Forehand chip of Tsitsipas. Forehand to Medvedev. Why do I feel like? Oh wow, that's a great forehand from Steph. I don't know. It's kind of awkward movement though a couple times in this game from Tsitsipas, but it didn't matter there. Might just be in my head. I don't know. Who knows? But he's gotten to do, so he's doing something right. Second serve. Forehand of Daniil. Forehand Daniil. Backhand of Steph. Sliced. Medvedev picks it up. Chip and charge from Steph. Right out the 80s. Forehand cross score has a hell of a shot from Medvedev. Advantage Medvedev. This is already really good. It is always a fun match. Definition of chaos and unpredictability is the Stefanos rivalry and bromance. Game point. Served on tee. That goes out. Goes out from Steph. So 2-2. 2-all. 2-all. Let me know in the chat what's going to be Steph's best result at a Grand Slam moving forward, and how many more of those results is he going to have? Like, if you say he's going to win a Grand Slam, how many is he going to win? If you say his best result's going to be a final, how many finals? Semifinal, quarterfinal, all the same. Let me know. Personally, I'm just going to leave it at a final. I think he'll reach I think he'll reach 2 more Grand Slam finals. I'll leave it there. But the other thing is, I don't think any man has more Grand Slam finals lost without winning any than 3. So he would have the record. I don't think there's somebody else that has more. Actually, I just looked at this. Harry Hopman, who the Hopman Cup is named after, which I know is like a crazy pull, like a weird one, but I think he had 4 Grand Slam finals without winning one, because I was just looking at this. No, he has 3. So I don't think any man has 4. I think there is some woman who has 4. And Yvonne Lendl and Andy Murray both started their career with 4. But then they obviously won 11 combined, so. But yeah, I'll go ahead and say that. I'll say Steph reaches 2 more Slam finals. I say they both will be at the French. I feel happy with that. He might win one, though. But I'm going to say he gets to 2 finals. Besides Sinner and Carlos, who else can win a Slam? I mean, I think there are people who can win a slam. I mean, I would watch out for Menzik. I think Draper could win Wimbledon in particular at some point down the road. I don't know if that's now. Menzik, Feast, Fonseca, Prismic. Like I said, Draper. Forehand goes out wide from Tsitsipas. Like I said, I think Tsitsipas at least has like some kind of a chance. Casper Ruud, I think, has some kind of a chance. Who else exists? It's hard to say right now. Sinner and Alcaraz are so far ahead of the curve of people who can win slams. Holger Rune, he could still win a slam. I don't know, Korda, if he ever figures it out. Shelton, if he ever figures it out. Backhand cross score, that's in the net from Tsitsipas. I mean, who knows? Like there are a lot of players on tour. It just depends on how much those players improve. Like, what if like Yuri Lehechka suddenly has the best year of his life, and suddenly we see him as like the number 6 in the world, and he has the Grand Slam run of his life, and then suddenly everything changes. Like, things can change in tennis. We don't know who is going to step up over the next few years, but the truth of the matter is, and it's a very obvious truth if you're paying attention, there's so many good, great even, or potentially great young players around. So many. So that's all I got to say on that. So it's just going to be fun to see how it all unfolds. I don't personally see Sinner and Alcaraz winning like every slam from now on. I don't think they'll hoard the slams like the big three did. It's my opinion. Also, it'll be hard for them to do that as just two people as well. So I think we'll have more people winning. Forehand Medvedev, forehand of Steph. That's in the net. Another break point coming for Medvedev. Can he get one here? I reckon I'm going to make a prediction. Tsitsipas is going to shank a backhand, and Medvedev's going to break. Why not? If I get it, then it's basically like winning the lottery. Guessing the Tsitsipas backhand shank. Let's see. Yeah, the clock was. Tsitsipas just. That was hilarious. Umpire was calling for a time violation warning on Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas did not react even. He didn't even flinch. He served through it, and Medvedev wasn't ready, which is perfectly understandable. That was insane. Great forehand from Steph. I respect the hell out of that from Steph every time he does it. I would not be able to do that. I think there are very few people on earth who'd be able to do that. He's got to be mighty good at compartmentalizing and just saying like, okay, I'm annoyed as hell at the time violation, but I've got to just focus on the point ahead of me and saving this break point. He's just so much like IDGAF, like I'm gonna serve through anything. Like, I don't care if you give me a time violation. Like, that's pretty crazy. Second let in a row for Steph. These two guys are hilarious, though. That's why I like watching this rivalry for stuff like that. Because there's a lot of stuff like that. Hey, how's it going, Max? Forehand volley, Steph. That's going to be too good. Advantage to Tsitsipas. Interesting start to this match. Seeing a lot of different kinds of points. That was a serve and volley from Steph. That's the other great thing about this rivalry is that you see so many different kinds of points. Like, both these guys are very eccentric, talented players. Like, they'll show you a lot of different stuff, which is cool. They really are a yin and yang of chaotic tennis players. I think that's fair to say. They're like a yin and a yang that just should not fit together, but they do somehow. Backhand down the line, forehand volley. Ah, it's a beauty. Yeah, Medvedev almost gets it, but that's in the net. 3-2. Sorry about that. My back. All right, cool. Sorry about that. I just knocked my camera on my laptop. Just dropped all of you guys. No, it's 3-2 for Steph. Interesting. Start with both guys saving break points. How's Sinner doing? Because that was a close first set when I checked back on direct rematch of Shanghai last year, Sinner versus Shelton. Okay, Sinner took the first set. He's down to break point, though, in the second set, so gotta keep an eye on that. Pulling for Yannick. What are your thoughts on Iga splits with her coach or parting ways with her coach? Yeah, I don't mind it. I think it seems like a good call by all means. By all means, I think that she needs some changes in her box. I think that some people almost saw this coming or were hoping that she would have some changes like this. So I think it's a good thing. And I mean, Iga's a generational talent. I mean, whoever's in her box, I think she's going to find ways to success. And yeah, hopefully she has a good end to this year. I'm wondering if she's going to end up being year-end number one at this pace, though, because it's starting to be quite close. Like, I'm going to look at the race real quick, but because I actually haven't looked at it, but I know that it's getting closer, just logically. Yeah, I mean, Sabalenka's like less than 200 points behind Swiatek, legitimately. So it's getting real close now. So we'll see if Swiatek ends year end number one again for a third year in a row. It would be cool to see Sabalenka get it. She was a match away last year. A match against Iga. Backhand to the backhand of Medvedev down the line. Forehand of Steph. Forehand of Medvedev. Backhand Steph. That goes out. 15 all. Yeah, what are your thoughts though, Max? Because it is a pretty crazy situation. There's been a lot of stuff going through the tennis news cycle of late. But I don't have big thoughts on that specific partnership. Like on how that coach affected her. I just thought that it seems about time for a change with that, and I've heard complaints of there being some issues with that coaching partnership and also within her box. So I think some changes is good, and also you want to keep things changing occasionally. And it's been a great partnership, but I don't mind it. And like I said, she's a generational talent. Whoever's in her box, she'll find a way to win. Win a lot anyway. Medvedev not minding coming to net, which is doing well for him. If he's at net, then it's going to be harder for Tsitsipas to find his way to the net, which always helps. I believe he was doing quite a bit of that in Vienna last year as well, if my memory serves me right, where he was coming to net quite a bit. And the drop shot is a pretty good tool against Tsitsipas if you're able to use it. Medvedev's used it in this match. We'll see if he uses it more. Insights in attack. So apparently Tsitsipas being 5% more aggressive than he usually is, whatever that means. Serve from Steph. Backhand way up high, forehand to Steph. Backhand to Medvedev. Hits the top of the tape. 15 love. It's a great decision with Iga for changes. Yeah, that's how I feel. I think there's a consensus with that, and I agree with it. It just felt like it just felt like it was time for a change there. So 30 love. I was just hearing a lot of talk about that, and it made sense when it happened. It was cool seeing Swiatek practice though at the U.S. Open. That was fun. But Swiatek, it was so clear right from the get-go, more than any other player warming up, that this person is just a freak athlete. Like, Swiatek is just a ridiculous like athlete. Just the way she is athletically and her physicality, it's phenomenal. Like, she was doing a lot of like, she was like just tossing like a big what do you call it, like a training ball, like one of those huge like balls that you do to work out, the weight balls or whatever you call them, the super heavy balls. And she was just like throwing it back and forth with her coach, like almost like practicing a ground stroke swing. And just looking at her doing that, I was just like she's impressive. Like, I don't know, just the different exercises like that, just watching her do stuff like that, I was just like, yeah, she was really impressive. Back in cross court, back in of Steph, the forehand of Medvedev, forehand of Steph, the forehand slice of Daniil, up high, forehand of Steph, down the line. Medvedev nearly gets there, but can't quite get there. 40-15. 40-15. Very interesting matchup so far. I'm hoping for an absolute Stefanos classic. An absolute classic between these two. Have these two even played at like the Grand Slam level? I hope so. I feel like maybe, or yeah, of course they did. What am I talking about? They played at the Australian Open a few times. But have they ever played like a 5-set match? I guess that's more so what I'm wondering. Yeah, these two have never played a 5-set match. They've played 2 4-setters. No, 3 4-setters. No, 2. 2. Yeah. They played 2 4-setters. Yeah, I would love. I hope that at some point we get either a Medvedev Tsitsipas Slam final um or at least like an all-time epic between these two. It would just be so good, you know. I feel like that would be really good. We've gotten some good matches between these two. I mean, the Cincinnati match was pretty good, although it was more just like a really impressive performance from Tsitsipas more than anything else. Medvedev played well, but Tsitsipas played like out of his head. But the ATP Finals match was really good. ATP Finals match was really good. That they played at the end of 2022. That's the closest, in my opinion, that they've had to an all-time good match. It's not an all-time good match, but it's, in my opinion, the best match that those two have played. I really enjoyed that match. I thought it was really phenomenal. The second set tiebreaker was insane. One of my favorite moments of that year, and that says a lot, because 2022, I don't know if you guys remember 2022, but goddamn, that year was just, it was by far the craziest year of tennis I've seen. Like, it was nonstop, the crazy things that were happening that year. Like, Barty retired, Serena retired, Roger retired, Novak got deported out of Australia. What else? Alcaraz won that insane U.S. Open the way that he did. There was just crazy stuff happening all the time. It was a really crazy year with a lot of great matches. So it says a lot, in my opinion, that ended up being one of my favorites of the year. But that was a great match, and that was one of the first times. That was the first time that I felt like the stylistic matchup and the strategic matchup is starting to be just as good as the personality matchup between those two. And that was when I feel like the rivalry's been at its peak. But it's already getting to it's looking pretty good here too. So I mean, this definitely has potential to be their best match yet if it goes 3 sets. I don't think they're playing maybe as well as at the end of 2022, but I mean, you know, doesn't particularly matter. Return goes out from Steph, 30 love. Medvedev already back at the line like the Flash. And he hits a serve like the Flash. Gone in a flash, 40 love. Huge serve. Huge serve. The backhand of Medvedev. That's ridiculous. Let's go Medvedev. Let's go Medi. Medi, the BS Russian, the huge backhand down the line winner. That was ridiculous. That was a shot that you only try at 40 love. Medvedev flattened the hell out of that ball. Less than a minute, 59 seconds. Let's go. You don't see those very often, I tell you what. 59-second hold for Medvedev. That was after a few different deuce games, too. I knew it was quick. That's why Medvedev went for that shot. He was like, I got to get this done in under a minute. We're wasting time. The under a minute service game can only happen if it's somebody who plays quick. Back, oh, what a shot from Medvedev. Those hands. That's what I'm talking about with talent. Like, Medvedev will just pull up with some ridiculous shot like that. That was a crazy shot. I mean, so casual. Like, it's not like he hit it at the sideline either, but it was unreturnable somehow. Great fake out. Wow, yeah, that was not out, right? It was called out by the linesman, but it seems like a terrible call. Medvedev is challenging, late challenge. He's checking the mark there. So it was called out. It was called out initially, then it was called in, overruled, and now Medvedev's challenging. It wasn't. Yeah, it looked in. That was a bad call from the line judge, to be fair. Not the worst call ever, but it was not a good call. All right, left 15. Big point here. Serve down T. Great serve. 15 all. Coco and Carlos went to Forbidden City and both won Beijing. Yeah, I saw that, Max. That's hilarious. So Coco tweeted or posted that they should have worn their thing that they wore for the photos in the ceremonies. I think that they should have worn it for the matches. They should have played the matches in those costumes. That would have been the best. Have volley up high, back in Medvedev. Oh, he gets it again. Right at the sideline. Medvedev's backhand is something else. Like, if it wasn't for Zverev, we would all be complimenting the hell out of Medvedev's backhand. Like, Zverev's backhand overshadowed Medvedev's, but Medvedev's is insane. Medvedev's hit 5 passing shot winners already, which is not unusual for this matchup, to be fair, but it shows that Medvedev is in a good way. Steph might be in a little bit of trouble. Medvedev was the favorite coming in for sure. Up high to the backhand of Steph is the Medvedev forehand. Forehand of Steph. Backhand Medvedev down the middle. Forehand of Steph. Forehand of Daniil. Forehand of Steph. Inside out. The backhand of Daniil. Backhand of Steph. Going backhand to backhand. Backhand slice now from Steph. Still going backhand to backhand. Tsitsipas goes down the line. It's a great backhand redirect. Forehand down the line. Oh, what a shot from Stefanos. Tsitsipas. With the forehand bone crusher. First, the backhand down the line unloaded, and then the forehand was lights out. Get that away from me. Get that away from me. Serve Steph, forehand chip. Forehand of Steph, inside out, backhand of Medvedev. Drop shot. Medvedev's there. Great shot and athleticism. Easily highest level of the set from both guys in the set so far right here, right now. Another break point coming for Medvedev. There's been a lot going on already. Like, first of all, just in terms of we've had so many break points, nobody's converted yet. But we also had a service game in under a minute from Medvedev just then. So many different kinds of points being played out, too. Tsitsipas trying to come to net is being passed a lot, so that's going to make him afraid to come to net. But he needs to find better approach shots, or, I mean, just that, honestly, the backhand passing shot of Medvedev is just working well. It might want to come in to the forehand. He comes into the backhand. That was a great shot, though. Medvedev can't get under it. Deuce. I'll need your guys' chats to keep me awake because I am tired. Max, I was saying earlier when I started the stream, I was trying to nap earlier, but due to timing stuff going on, and also just my, for whatever reason, inability to really nap. I kind of like I fell half asleep, but I didn't really get any. I didn't get any sleep, which is not what I was hoping for. So I'm tired, but it's all good. So I need your guys' comments to keep me awake. Tsitsipas' mom puts on her sunglasses. I'm glad that the camera showed that so that we're all aware of the situation. Advantage to Medvedev, break point number 2. Serve down the tee, forehand to Medvedev. Forehand to Steph. Backhand. Medvedev almost got it, but once again, a forehand inside-out beauty from the Greek. So deuce. 42 minutes played already after just 8 completed games, 43 minutes. So that's, what would that be? It's like 6 minutes per game almost. Backhand in the net. Is that right? No, 8 times 6 is 48. Not quite. This game's already almost 6 minutes. 5 minutes and 49 seconds and counting. Advantage Tsitsipas trying to get to the line for a big serve. He gets it, but Medvedev gets it back, runs the net. It's not a good approach. He gets the volley. Backhand lob. Oh, so good from Medvedev. What a play. It's risky to lob Tsitsipas. He's not a short guy, and I think he's got the most reliable forehand on, not forehand, the most reliable, he has a reliable forehand, but yeah, I think he's got the most reliable overhead on tour, Tsitsipas. He barely ever misses an overhead. I feel like I'm about to jinx him, but by the way, definition of a perfect lob. Most perfect lob that we've seen in the game since Federer was that one right there. Or since Murray. Since those two guys retired. Advantage to Tsitsipas after he hits an ace. Serve Tsitsipas. Out wide, back into Medvedev. 4 into Tsitsipas. 4 into Medvedev. That's in the net. Game to Tsitsipas. 5-4. Great stuff from Steph. I wonder if we're going to get any kind of controversy or anything out of this match. It doesn't seem like that's the vibe right now. Also, these guys seemed like they were warming up to each other in Laver Cup or whatever, which is boring. We want the drama. It's too boring. Where's the blood? We want blood. We want the fights. Five 4 in the second set for Shelton and Sinner. Big serve from Medvedev. Gets him to 15 love. Serve down the tee. That's a good serve. Another quick service game incoming from Medvedev. Backhand cross court, backhand slice Tsitsipas, backhand Medvedev. Backhand Tsitsipas. That goes long. 40 love. Just I've just seen the clip. There's a clip going around of Medvedev and Tsitsipas putting their arm around each other as they do before the matches start. And the crowd just goes, ooh. The crowd knows what's up. I love that. That's hilarious. Terrible forehand from Medvedev. It was an awkward shot, to be fair. Looked like the point was over. Tsitsipas' shot just crossed the net and made it a little bit awkward, but Medvedev with a bit of a horrific forehand into the net, sliding into it. But seems like we're pretty much at 5-5 anyway, so see if it will matter at the end. Serve down the tee, forehand of Medvedev. Backhand slice Tsitsipas. Forehand Medvedev, again to the forehand of Tsitsipas. That might be right off the baseline, so watch out for Steph, who's just barely clinging on to this game. Let's say Medvedev hits a serve ace out wide. Nope, service winner down the tee. Still a winner, 5-5. Feels like we have less people on stream than usual, so I appreciate everybody who's joined in so far. I do wonder if this is a weird time for most people to watch QualityShot tennis, though. With the Asian time zone right now in China, it's what, 2:00? Yeah, I mean, like in the UK, I guess it's like 7:00, which is super early. In the States, it's 2 a.m., which is so it's pretty much middle of the night for a lot of the places which usually watch the channel, I guess, which is definitely part of it. I would think. Although I do like the fact that QualityShot tennis is pretty global, so we got fans from all over. Although I haven't seen specifically a lot of fans from China, like saying like I'm a fan watching from China or something like that, chiming into the chat. So I don't know. That serve goes out, 15 all. Who will win this first set? I didn't say my prediction, by the way. I just realized. My prediction before the match started is Medvedev in 2 sets. Serve down the tee, backhand of Medvedev, forehand of Tsitsipas, the backhand of Medvedev, backhand Tsitsipas down the line. Forehand Medvedev. I mean, his forehand looks so weird. What are these weird shots from Medvedev? He looks ridiculous. But he's at 15-30. He's leading he's been world number 1. Medvedev is just a way of life, man. Reinvented the game. True perfection and beauty on the court, exemplified through personified. Medvedev is a way of life. Serve down the tee. Forehand Tsitsipas. Forehand Medvedev. Forehand Tsitsipas. Backhand Medvedev. Gets it. That's a great shot. That's one for the highlight reel. That's a classic Medvedev Tsitsipas rally right there. Medvedev reaching and gets a great angle off a backhand stretched out, and Tsitsipas hits a forehand inside out angle you'd only dream of, running to run around his backhand. That's even better than a Casper Ruud would have done it. That was ridiculous. He found the absolute perfect angle, and the first inside out angle that he hit was not bad either. Forehand, that was nearly ridiculous. Medvedev with a very, 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 very late challenge. But umpires allowing it. Craig Murphy in the chair. That would have been one of the greatest shots I've seen Medvedev hit. Oh, we made it! Let's go! That was one of the best shots I've seen Medvedev hit. Stands. Tsitsipas, like, I'm sure as soon as Medvedev challenged, Tsitsipas was like, oh, God, no. Because he probably knew. He was right over that line. Forehand, inside out, backhand of Medvedev. Oh, I missed it, though. I want to see a replay of that shot. That was crazy. I'm so glad he made it. From my angle, I thought he missed it pretty far wide. But the above angle is not the best angle to get it. That was a crazy shot. Speaking of talent and speaking of Medvedev's talent, that was a ridiculous shot. Sliding on hard court. Sliding beautifully into that one. As he slams the winner, Alcaraz, like. Advantage to Steph as he hits a service winner. Serve out wide, backhand Medvedev. Forehand of Tsitsipas. Forehand inside out is a great shot. 6-5. Good stuff. Sinner and Shelton are in a contentious tiebreaker, which I got to start following as well. Gotta be honest, I'm so pulling for Sinner. It's one of those times, like, I guess people would look at me in general and see that I'm American and be like, oh, he's obviously rooting for Ben Shelton. I am so much not rooting for Shelton. No offense to Shelton. Just one of those things. It's hard watching two matches at once off of two different devices, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Forehand chip, forehand Medvedev down the line, backhand drop shot, forehand Tsitsipas. That goes out. It's close. That's gonna be a challenge. If this one's in, then just get the line judges off the court. Pause the match and get Hawkeye in, please. For all that is good. Okay, that is out. Good call. Great serve from Medvedev down the tee is an ace. Forty love as Medvedev hits another ace. Sinner, by the way, up a mini break in the tiebreaker against Shelton. 2 mini breaks. Let's go. Six all. 6-6. Serve from Tsitsipas. Down the tee, backhand Medvedev, forehand of Tsitsipas. The backhand Medvedev's a lob, way up high, great lob. Tsitsipas there with the smash. Forehand cross court is good. Ooh, Medvedev nearly the forehand down line. It is wide though. 1-0. Let me know in the chat. Who do you think's winning this tiebreaker? What's going to be the score? I'm going to say Medvedev wins this tiebreaker. Why not? You know, if it's true, then it'll be crazy. I'll say 14-12. Who knows? Let's go Yannick, 6-1 with an ace out wide. Backhand, forehand of Medvedev, the backhand of Tsitsipas. Backhand Medvedev, inside out, forehand of Tsitsipas. Forehand Medvedev to the backhand of Tsitsipas, way up high, forehand Medvedev. Forehand Tsitsipas, so forehand of Medvedev. Forehand Tsitsipas, even bigger. Forehand Medvedev, Tsitsipas still there. What a long rally. Backhand, drop shot, Medvedev just got tired. 1-1, or Tsitsipas just got tired. 1-1. How many shots was that? That was long. Match point for Sinner. That's out. Let's go. Let's go. Forehand volley, Steph. That's a great backhand pass from Medvedev. Steph has not been able to guard the net well enough. And Medvedev makes him pay the price there. Forehand, yeah, I mean, strong stuff from Medvedev more than anything. I mean, it was a bit of a layup, but of a volley, but still, I mean, it was Medvedev's good play there. Strong. Tsitsipas 9 out of 20 points won. I feel like this would give Medvedev a lot of confidence if he could secure a win here. So, see what he can do. Serve, backhand, inside out, forehand. Oh, comes in. Oh, what a shot! Oh, that's unreal. Wow. Medvedev with a crazy pass and Steph with a ridiculous half volley. That was absurd. Good stuff there. This is sports, huh? Good stuff. Two competitors going at it. Tsitsipas knew he needed that one, and Medvedev did too. Both of them put their all into those two shots, and Tsitsipas came out the victor for that point. Every tennis point is a small little war going on inside the game, inside the match. 4-2. Appreciate everybody tuning in to watch. Like always, it's Anthony Hirsch here, commenting Quality Shot Tennis. Great play from Medvedev there. I see it's a winner, 5-2. Medvedev's forehand has been rocking. Goes behind Tsitsipas. Very smart play. Medi's got a high tennis IQ. Reads the game well. 21 winners to 12 from Tsitsipas. 5-2. He's got the lead. And first serve would have been nice. Tsitsipas doesn't get it. Serve, forehand Medvedev. That goes out. Medvedev would have wanted that one to secure his lead here, but it's still just one mini break, 5-3. Big serve would be nice. Get some momentum going into the 5-4 point. Does get a big serve. He should win this point. That's a great return, though. Backhand, almost an even better backhand. Forehand inside out. Backhand cross court. Backhand down the line. He missed it. Medvedev, a ridiculous scrambling in angles there. 6-3 for Medvedev. Daniil playing absolutely phenomenal. What a backhand cross court. I mean, just so smart from Medvedev because, yeah, I mean, I think Tsitsipas would have thought that he would have hit it down the line. It was a tough shot to carve it out cross court, and he had the whole down the line open. Medvedev really using his head, and he's played a hell of a smart set and great set. Serve down the tee. Forehand return is very good. Backhand down the line. Forehand the bottom of the net. Great set of tennis. Won by a Daniil Medvedev. 7-3 in the breaker. No 14-12. 7-3 in the tiebreaker. 7-6 for Medvedev as he takes the first set. Good stuff. Hour and 4 minutes played there. All right, I'll be back in a minute, guys. I'm going to take a quick break between sets. Medvedev seeing a trainer. Medvedev seeing a trainer physio. Hopefully Medvedev is mostly at 100%. Oh, so Sinner's off court, so that means Alcaraz and Monfils will be on soon. Tonight is a generational night of tennis, I tell you what. So many good matches on. Medvedev's taking medical timeout, which is not what you usually expect for the winner of a set, but that's just how it is. Also, I didn't really see any signs of it, which hopefully means that he's not going to be that affected in his level. That's what you hope for. Medical timeout. Now 2 minutes and 46 seconds left. Paul Malhach is going to be a good one. That's like Paul Malhach is a match between two guys that are going to be coming to net a lot. You would think those are two all-court players. Mensik Dimitrov is good too. I feel like Mensik and Dimitrov have played like 2 or 3 times this year. Am I wrong? I feel like I've seen that matchup before. Okay, they've played once, but Mensik won, so I guess that's what I'm remembering. Fritz Runa. Safin Djokovic, was that a I think that was a Wimbledon quarterfinal. Pretty sure. That's probably the least interesting match, though, of all the matches going on. Fritz Runa is a pretty damn good match. Like, they're just all of these matches are so interesting for some reason. The only one that's not is I mean, Zverev Goffin is like maybe not interesting, although it depends a little bit on Goffin. But 6 of the 8 quarterfinals are extremely interesting at the very least. And by good chances, one of those two will at least be moderately interesting, I would say. All 4 of those players are good players. Have Goffin and Zverev, how many times have they played? You'd assume they would have played before. Probably maybe more than 5 times. I would think. Yeah, they've played 6 times. They played 6 times. Goffin's won twice. Not that long ago, to be fair, 2021, 2019. When he reached the ATP finals, that was 2017, so. One on clay, one on grass, which is kind of whatever, although he won in a 3rd set tiebreaker, which is impressive. But straight sets in Monte Carlo, that's impressive. So that's maybe a good sign for Goffin. Goes out for Medvedev, left 15. All right, well, watching for Medvedev's physicality after the surprising medical timeout, obviously. We're back in action. Set 2. So first serve. All right, the second set's going to be great. Stick around, guys. Set to do some play-by-play. First serve goes long. Also excited just to watch, to be fair. Hope Medvedev is mostly healthy, though. Forehand of Steph, backhand of Daniil, forehand of Steph, inside into the forehand of Medvedev, forehand of Medvedev to the backhand of Steph, backhand Medvedev, backhand slice of Steph, forehand of Medvedev, backhand slice of Tsitsipas, backhand of Medvedev to the backhand of Tsitsipas, backhand slice to Medvedev, backhand Tsitsipas, so forehand of Medvedev, that's in the net, left 30. Okay. Tsitsipas is going to try for a real strong strike here. He's pushing. He's going all out right here, trying to peak right here. Take advantage of maybe a weak spot for Medvedev where he might be moving with some question marks in his head. Those question marks can be lethal in the perspective of a tennis match. Second serve. Question marks over potential injury. Backhand. Medvedev just rushed to net out of nowhere. Don't know if that's why Tsitsipas shanked that backhand wide. 15-30. I also don't know if that's Medvedev being afraid to move, or if that's Medvedev trying to catch Tsitsipas off guard and trying to implant the thought of him being at the net into his mind. But second serve, that's a huge point. Are there 2 in a row for Medvedev, or it's 2 break points for Tsitsipas? Forehand Medvedev into the backhand of Steph, backhand of Daniil to the forehand of Steph. Inside in is a great shot. Forehand cross court from Steph. Forehand squash shots in the net. 15-40. Zero for 6 on break points for Medvedev, and it's 0 for 0 for Steph. These are his first 2 break points, and he gets a ridiculous return of serve. Stefanos Tsitsipas off to a flying start in set number 2. Ridiculous return of serve there. Pinpoint perfect. And they say that a one-handed backhand can't return a hard serve. Ridiculous return of serve. That was a thing of beauty. That was Federer-esque, and I think that's the first time I've ever even remotely had that thought about Tsitsipas's backhand. It's the first time that's even been in the ballpark of getting into my mind, that thought. But that was kind of Federer-esque. Return quality in set number 1, Tsitsipas 5.6, Medvedev 7.9. I wonder if they're going to show set 2, at least for Steph. I don't know, but for sure that game was high quality returning. Tsitsipas catches the ball toss. Serve. Into the net. Second serve. Out wide forehand Medvedev, forehand of Tsitsipas. Back in Medvedev is a great shot. I almost got it too. Medvedev is so fast, it's a joke. These guys are talented, man. This is a great match so far. It really is. I'm enjoying this one a lot. This rivalry is so good. Like, come on. This is a generational rivalry. It's one of the most fun for sure. It's just there's so much going on all the time. If you want a rivalry that's just like not boring, like this is one. It's not boring. Both these guys are hard servers, so it's kind of a serve bot contest at times, no doubt, but they're talented, so, and they have a lot of shots in their arsenal, a lot of tools. So it doesn't get that boring. Also, just the very obvious thing that there's been a lot of drama in the past between the two that I think always helps. $30-15. The match I commentated earlier today, very similar to this in terms of Greek Sport lost the first set in a tiebreaker to Zverev, and then he got to a very quick start in the I think it was also like a 7-3 tiebreaker. I could be wrong. And then he got to a very quick start in the second set and then completely ran away with the second set. Forehand shank from Tsitsipas, showing that he's willing to not discriminate and hit shanks off both his forehand and his backhand. which is pretty nice of him, to be honest. Let me fix this because I just realized I'm completely out of the camera shot. All right, cool. All right, cool. Forehand chip way up high. Forehand to Steph. Forehand to Medvedev. Back in his Steph. Half volley was nearly crazy, but goes in the net. Deuce. It's such a long match. I'm gonna be up at like 6 a.m. with no sleep. I will have almost been up for 24 hours straight, which is be the first time in a while. It wouldn't be nearly the first time I've done that, but it would be the first time in a while. I can't even remember I don't think I've done that this year. It seems like I would have though. I definitely have. Maybe on one of my trips that I've gone on. I don't know. It's actually possible when I was commentating the Australian Open that I did that at some point earlier this year. Maybe during the semis, because I was up for a long time in a row. Advantage to Tsitsipas, saving some, well, not really saving break points, but some chances for Medvedev. Half a chance at least at deuce. But we're going back to deuce as Tsitsipas hits a double fault. Forehand, that goes out from Medvedev, so advantage to Tsitsipas. Good serve from Tsitsipas, gets a 2-0. Two games to love. Good serving. 16 minutes already in the set. Long match already. Feels like we could have already played 2 sets. We're still just at 2-0 in the second. Yeah, because I mean, 2 sets both being like 40 minutes long, that's pretty much where we'd be at right now. Which is not completely unfathomable. 15 love for Medvedev. Goes out. Alcaraz and Monfils, who are like the two of the most talented players in the history of the sport. Alcaraz and Monfils, in my opinion, are probably, I don't know about like Rod Laver or whatever. Like I'm sure he's like up there in terms of talent and stuff. Like, but as far in my opinion, I'd say that Alcaraz and Monfils are probably 2 of the 3 most talented players ever. As far as I see it, because I mean Monfils' talent, you barely ever see a more talented athlete than that guy. And then I'd obviously have Federer and Alcaraz. I don't know. There are other players to name for sure that are talented, even like Pablo Cuevas, Dustin Brown, Dimitrov. It depends what you mean by talent too. Honestly, Murray would be up there. Nadal. Good serving from Medvedev as he hits an ace out wide, gets a 2-1. I guess talent is way too subjective, but anyway, Alcaraz and Monfils, two of the most talented players to ever play. I mean, talent really doesn't really mean anything, does it? It's a very empty word. Like, what's the definition of talent? Like, I genuinely wonder. I don't really know. Like something that you're naturally good at, right? Or something that you're good at, I guess. Natural aptitude or skill. Yeah. But what's the definition of skill? You know? Like skill, or what's the definition of skill in tennis? Because lots of things can be skill. Skill isn't just hitting a cool tweener or something. Like skill is also like, I mean, Federer just talked about this in his graduation speech or whatever. Happy for Sinner to get his revenge over Shelton. Wait, so what's Sinner's draw again? Does Sinner play the winner of this? Don't even remember. I think it is, right? Sinner plays Medvedev or Tsitsipas. Let me look it up. You know it's late when I'm checking the order of play to try to check what the draw is. I'm like, oh, okay. Wait, what? I'm like checking the order of play as if it makes any sense that I can tell who's playing who by that. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, Sinner will take on the winner of this match. Stacked tournament for Sinner to take on the winner of Tsitsipas and Medvedev. Level 15, we're getting started with this game as well. Coco will be playing soon. Yeah, that should be fun as well. Do you think Novak will win in Shanghai? I think he definitely could. I can't remember. What was my prediction starting the? I think my prediction was that Alcaraz was going to win the tournament, and that he was going to beat the guy who beats Djokovic in the semifinals. That was my prediction for whatever reason when the tournament started. I predicted Novak would lose in the semis. Novak is playing really well, but I don't really like going back on my predictions when the tournament started. So I'm gonna stay with Alcaraz for the win. I'm gonna stick with Alcaraz. 3 sets, please. Oh yeah, for sure. Rooting for that. Also, hello, Faisal. Alcaraz and Monfils have already started and gotten underway, I should say. 15:30, Medvedev with a chance in this game. Good match so far, Faison. First set was really tight. A lot of breakpoint chances for Medvedev throughout it. He couldn't convert until the very end, and a lot of good shot making, a lot of different kinds of points, which is kind of what we're used to seeing. But Tsitsipas gets a time violation warning. Tsitsipas says, I'm almost ready to serve when I get to the line. I'm almost ready to serve when the clock is at 0, which is not ideal, but I think that's a loss of first serve, though, right? Which I guess is why Tsitsipas was extra upset there. Double fall. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I feel for Steph, to be honest. The umpires have not had it easy this week. Craig Murphy was saying the clock starts automatically, though. Not really to do with him. But who's starting the clock then? Because I don't even know that rule. Like, who's starting the clock then? Isn't he deciding when to start the clock? I thought there was some leeway that if there's a really long rally, you can start the clock like a beat or two later. But it might be right when the point ends. Either way, yeah, I don't know. I guess yeah, Tsitsipas got to play a little bit quicker. I don't know. But my main thing is that when it's not that big of a deal or you're not taking that much time and it's like a huge moment in the match, I'd rather the umpires stay out of it as much as possible. Oh, get out of here! What a shot! Wizardry from the racket of Medvedev. What did I say earlier? I said Medvedev is one of the most talented players I think to ever play this game. I don't even care after that. You gotta agree, because what the hell? Dude, this guy is mainline. Show a replay. You know what that reminded me of? I don't even know why it reminded me of it, but it reminded me of the shot that Monfils hit against Fucsovic in Madrid, I'd like to say, where he was running back and he had that crazy shot with the crowd going crazy. Wow, Tsitsipas sits down on the Tsitsipas sits down on the bench. He doesn't want to play. This is too funny. It's a physical sport. We're not showing dart out here. Got to show some compassion, Tsitsipas says. You cannot stop for this, Zampar says. Tsitsipas needs to be careful not to touch the umpire, though. That's the thing. I said that because he like touched his shoe for a second. I was like, careful. Wow, Tsitsipas, this is crazy. Medvedev wants to serve, and Tsitsipas is just on the bench. Tsitsipas is waiting for the supervisor. This is wild. Craig Murphy is unbudging. What is going to happen here? Tsitsipas is going to get another time violation. Supervisor's on court, I think. Yeah, that's the best decision here. It's been a great match so far. Your guy here, Tsitsipas starts. This is ridiculous. Continue the conversation when we go to the baseline, the supervisor says. Okay. Medvedev getting a needed reset here. I mean, it's too comical, this guy. It's so also comparable to the Zverev situation in some ways from our earlier yesterday. I feel bad for Medvedev. It's just play, right? Just drops his racket at the end of it all. About 4 minutes and 39 seconds since the last point. Good serve for Medvedev, just unbothered. That was one of the great shots, though, the shot that Medvedev hit. I want to say a replay of it. That was one of the great shots. That might be the shot of the year. That maybe took my breath away more than any other shot I can remember seeing this year. Well, there are quite a few good ones at the start of Shanghai. Always produces great shots. I don't know what it is about this tournament. I thought that it's why it's my favorite Masters tournament. It was my favorite Masters tournament growing up, watching Masters tournaments as a kid. Everybody was saying Indian Wells. I always loved watching Shanghai. I like the crowds. I always felt like the quicker courts create some great shot making, and what a blazing forehand winner from Medvedev. That was awesome. He had a great forehand pass earlier in the match too, but I said after that one, that was one of the best shots I've seen Medvedev hit, but that one was even better by far. Oh, what a lob from Medvedev too. What I say at the start too, whoever wins this match, they can get a lot of confidence. Medvedev is playing a strong game. Not good enough from Tsitsipas, though, to be fair, off the half volley. I mean, he good enough for the half volley, but he shouldn't be hitting a half volley there. He's completely out of position. So that left Medvedev with so much time. His lob has been great in this match, though. Speaking of Andy Murray comparisons, the whole thing was hilarious, though. Medvedev just waiting and Tsitsipas just in his chair, just complaining to the umpire. It's a great serve from Medvedev, 3-2. Great hold after the chaos that was unfolding there. Excuse me. 3-2. Tsitsipas still clearly frustrated. Great stuff from Medvedev to get the match back under his control. I think we're still going to see some words from Tsitsipas to the umpire. Or maybe he's just going to focus here, but refocus. Oh, here's the replay of that shot. Oh, no, come on. I want to see it. That's got to be one of the great shots. Even the replay is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, that's just one of the great shots. I think it's the shot of the year. All right, here it is again. I want to see this again. I'm probably going to rewatch this dozens of times. Yeah, that's one of the great shots. I don't even care. That's one of the greatest shots I've ever seen. That's one of the greatest shots I've ever seen. That's why Medvedev's been world number one. This guy is better than some people even realize. Like this guy, Medvedev would have 3 or 4 majors had he been playing in another era, easy. Like legit, because I mean he's played Federer and not Federer. He's played Nadal and Djokovic in like literally 4 of his Slam finals. He won one of those. I mean, yeah. Would he have beaten Borg or McEnroe? I don't know, but he would have in any other era. He should have at least 3 slams, in my opinion. I think he's going to win another hardcourt major. He should. I mean, of all the non-injury related crimes in tennis, I think that if Medvedev only ends up with 1 major, I think that would be the biggest crime I can remember, non-injury crime in men's tennis history, or in tennis history. Or no, I mean Rod Laver, I guess, and the fact that he can play in all those slams. I don't know. Well, and then there are other stuff like Novak being deported and stuff. So I don't know, but one of them. Backhand goes out for Medvedev. This has been a great match so far. Superb. 15 love, but that was really one of the great shots. I mean, Medvedev really just went for it, but went for broke, but that was crazy. Thirty love. Tsitsipas serving. Wow, Sinner is 100% quarterfinal rate in 2024. That's actually ridiculous. 14th quarterfinal of the season. That's something else. I wonder if somebody's ever gone a whole season only making quarterfinals. That's actually nuts. I wonder what other seasons people have done that. Medvedev completely misses whacks that return out of bounds, but 3-3 doesn't even go into the tram lines. 3-3. Wait, Anthony is covering someone else when Monfils Alcaraz going on. Is this an alternate universe? It's not an alternate universe. It's just, what time is it? 2:51 a.m. I covered Alcaraz Monfils. Actually, this one might end after Alcaraz Monfils, to be fair. But if I covered Alcaraz Monfils on paper, that one could have ended at like 6 in the morning. Like if Sinner Shelton went like an hour and a half longer, and that one went 3 sets, like that one could finish at like 6:30 in the morning. So yeah, I was never going to be able to do that one. Monfils at 15:30 at 2-3. Yeah, I'd watch out for Gael Monfils. He very successfully reverse jinxed himself by saying, "Yeah, he's gonna crush me. I have no chance." 100% IQ, using 100% of the human brain. Monfils 30-15 reverse jinxing himself. How's it against the hill? Does he have a shoulder problem? Yeah, I mean he's been having a shoulder problem. I don't. If he does have shoulder problem, it's been going on for years, literally. Yeah. I mean, serve has just been regressed this year because of it. So Tsitsipas has regressed from an all-court player to a clay specialist. Yeah, I mean, pretty fair to be honest. His serve seems hampered. His serve was amazing. Oh yeah, I agree with you. I mean, even last year Medvedev's serve was amazing. It just really like it's just this year, right? Or maybe like kind of like the end of last year. But up until like Rome last year, it was great. Outside 2022, of course. How Sinner's level very strong, very very strong. It was crazy how Monfils beat Alki the last time they played at 37. That's mad, nuts. Monfils, I was happy he did that though. It felt like if Monfils needed any more cementing of his legacy, like he now has literally nothing to prove. I mean, well, okay, well he's got a lot. I mean, okay, it's tough to talk about Monfils, right? Because what is his legacy? I mean, some people wish that he would have gone to world number one and won a slam. So he did. He's not done anywhere near what some people want him to prove. But in another way, he's just shown that he's absolute magic on the court. Like he's a player that can um, that can do things that other players just simply just cannot. Whether it's the mindset that he brings on the court and the energy that he brings to the crowds and the shot making that he does and the just self-belief and fighting spirit that he shows, like he can do things that a lot of players can't, and he's so talented and athletic. So it was just kind of a cementing of the fact that like we haven't seen a player like this in tennis history. Like he is a name. Like I wouldn't mind if Monfils gets into the Tennis Hall of Fame, and I do mean that. Like In the same way that I wouldn't mind that much if like John Isner gets into the Hall of Fame with like Nicholas Mahou, for example. Like there are some names that I feel like are so important, even if they aren't like big champions. But I'm also a component of like maybe you need more than a slam to get into the Hall of Fame, so it's pretty hypocritical of me to say that. But I don't know. I'd like to put more thought into what I think deserves to get you into the Hall of Fame, but I don't know. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. As long as you contributed something to tennis that was special and good, I don't mind. The Hall of Fame was great when I went over there. All the players there seem worthy of being there. It's wild that he's 19-0 versus Djokovic. Yeah, I mean, well, the craziest thing about that is that, well, there are like three things that are crazy about that. Number one, he beat him in a futures tournament like the year before they played their first ATP match. Second thing, their first match was like a five-setter that Monfils should have won at the U.S. Open, where Novak outlasted him. And then the third thing is that he had like 3 championship points in the final of Paris one year against Djokovic or something, and he lost in the third set tiebreaker. So he had match points, like 5 match points or 3 match points in a row in Dubai or something one year against Djokovic. So he's had chances to beat Novak, which is what's makes it more unusual. Back in Medvedev, it's in the net. He's got to make that return, right? 15 all. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you are not subscribed. Or don't. Serve here from Tsitsipas. It's a let. Another first serve coming. Second serve. This could be a potentially big point. 15-30 is an opening at 3-4. Suddenly the nerves kick in. Forehand way up high to the forehand of Steph. Forehand of Steph. The forehand of Daniil. When Daniil starts grunting, you know it's serious. 15-30. That shot to break for 2-2 is genuinely one of the great shots. It's probably, I think, the greatest shot I've ever seen Daniil Medvedev hit, and that says a lot. Before that, I probably would have said Medvedev's around the net shot against Dan Evans at the U.S. Open, his return of serve, because I'd never previously seen around the net return of serve, particularly the way he hit it right on the line. Like, it was ridiculous. That's one of the greatest shots of all time, in my opinion, but this one might be above that. Forehand of Steph, the forehand of Daniil down the line, forehand of Steph, backhand of Daniil. Backhand Steph is a shank. 15-40. Somebody in the crowd caught it. There you go. Stefanos being quite nice, and Craig Murphy saying, "Can we have our ball back, please, sir?" Crowd has a bit of a laugh. The way the umpire said it so desperately, like so annoyed already. Like, can we please have the ball back? Medvedev is 1 for 8 on break points converted, but he's got another chance here to improve his conversion rate a little bit. Backhand, forehand of Steph, backhand Daniil, forehand of Steph down that outside line, forehand of Steph, cross court, forehand slice, forehand volley, that's put away. Strong stuff from Stefanos. 30-40. We still got a match here, but maybe not if Daniil can break. One more. That slice forehand just stayed a little bit too high. I think Medvedev would have preferred it to go a little bit lower than that over the net. Not that much net clearance. Steph was all on top of it like a goalie in soccer. Forehand in the net from Medvedev, but he's challenging the serve. Might be just to slow down Steph a little bit, to be honest. Forehand, backhand of Steph. That's in the net. Break point for Med. Can you describe the shot he made? Steph absolutely yelling, by the way. Yes. So yeah, I guess I haven't described it, which is my bad. I was just so shocked in and out by the shot. Yeah. So Steph hit a forehand cross court. Well, I'll say it after this point. Big point. Serve down T, forehand of Medvedev. Drop shot. Medvedev's there. The redrop. Backhand volley there. Medvedev comes to the rescue. Medvedev guarding out of the net, asking for the crowd. Ridiculous. If you drop shot Medvedev, you might be in trouble, because if you drop shot any of these top guys, you might be in trouble. They're all so crazy fast. If you watch them in person, you'll really realize why these guys are different from the rest of us, why these guys are playing these matches. Like, their speed is something else. What a shot from Medvedev at the net. Another amazing break point conversion point from Medvedev. Not nearly as good as the first one. Ace from Medvedev out wide. Great two-set match here. I mean, this has been a really good match, and Medvedev has had a stellar performance. He's gotten better and better as the match has gone on. But okay, so Steph, the shot that Medvedev hit, he was pulled out wide on the do side by a forehand from. Yeah, I thought that was in from the serve. Medvedev challenging. Okay, so Medvedev Tsitsipas hit a forehand cross court, and Medvedev. It looked like it was going to be a winner, and Medvedev like slid into the shot and hit it from like way down low and just flattened it out like a fly swatter, and just hit an absolute stellar triple-digit forehand cross score that you could barely see. Like just inside the sideline on the do side, like a great cross court forehand from Steph that looked like a winner, and then Daniil hit a miracle Hail Mary sliding forehand screamer winner cross court. And now it's a triple match point for Daniil Medvedev. Serve out wide. It's called out. Second serve. Down the tee, forehand of Steph. The backhand Daniil, that's down the line. Let's go. What a performance. I'm glad I stayed up for that. Medvedev with a stellar performance over Tsitsipas. I hope that gives him some confidence. Decent handshake between the two. Let's go. Daniil ended with a bang as well. One of his best performances of the season. Played a great match. Really enjoyed that one. That shot to get to 2-2 will stay in my memory, I think, probably forever. That was ridiculous. Awesome shot. Awesome shot. That's going to be on a highlight reel of like great tennis shots, 3 exclamation points on YouTube that you get in your recommended like 7 years from now. You know what I mean? All right. Anyway, I'm out of here. Tsitsipas still talking back to the umpire or something. All right. I want Medi to win a title. It's been a long time coming. Exactly. Yay, nice. Yes. Very excited. All right, I'm tired. I'm gonna about to pass out, so I'm gonna leave. Bye. Okay. 7-6, 6-3 for Medvedev. I'll see you guys later. Great performance from Medvedev. Awesome C for Daniil. And I think he's got a swagger back. He's playing well. Some great lobs, great passing shots. He was killing Tsitsipas at the net. Great performance from Medvedev, who also broke with a volley himself. Thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate you guys watching from all kinds of different time zones. Yeah, good night, Steph. Hey, I appreciate you. Hopefully you have a good night as well. All right, sweet. Yeah, have a good night. Take care of yourselves. Have a good time. Enjoy life. Peace.
Bye.